TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations. Shalom, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, the IDF confirms a first UAV targeted killing of a Palestinian terror cell in the West Bank since 2006. Jerusalem's political leadership voices outrage over hundreds of Israeli settlers wreaking havoc in a number of Palestinian villages and declared revenge for the murderous terror attack a day prior. Israel's First Lady Michal Herzog pledges to Ukraine's First Lady Olena Zelenskiy Jerusalem's support for Kyiv and sharing medical expertise to treat trauma-affected children. Israel's defense establishment has followed instructions by Jerusalem's political establishment to widen its toolbox amid a sharp rise in the number of intelligence alerts of imminent acts of Palestinian terror. Following Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's declaration that all options are on the table in Israel's war on terror, the IDF, following concrete ISA intelligence, utilized an attack UAV by launching 2 projectiles to eliminate a terror cell responsible for carrying out a number of shooting attacks against civilian communities throughout the Judea and Samaria districts. The strike, which effectively eliminated 3 armed terrorists, marked the first such aerial attack in the West Bank since 2006. It is further important to note that 2 of the targeted terrorists belong to the Iranian proxy, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and a third was affiliated to Fatah's Al-Aqsa Martyrs Brigades. Meanwhile, following a situation assessment at the Binyamin District Brigade, which is tasked with securing the area where the Israeli community of Eli is situated, Defense Minister Yoav Gallant seized the opportunity to relay his condolences to the families of the 4 Israeli civilians who were murdered in the terror attack and praised the IDF for its prompt response.
I send my condolences to the families of the murdered and praise the IDF forces for the quick and determined action, which immediately led to the elimination of the 2 terrorists. I say from here explicitly, we work every day against the terrorists and their messengers. The IDF is doing an excellent job. We will strike terrorism wherever it is, in Nablus, Jenin, Gaza, and anywhere else. There will be no safe place, neither for the terrorists nor to whoever sends them.
It is important to note that IDF, ISA, and Border Police Special Operations Forces conducted counter-terror activities throughout Judea, Samaria, and the Jordan Valley overnight, during which 6 suspected terror operatives were apprehended. And while the Israeli security establishment once again showcased its qualitative capabilities in the field, regrettably, its deployment of troops to reinforce security and prevent vigilante violence by radical Israeli elements seeking to enact revenge has proven less effective. A large group of Israeli settlers, enraged by the seeming rise of murderous terror, rampaged a number of Palestinian villages overnight and wreaked havoc. In the Luban Asharkia village located next to the Israeli community of Beit Aryeh, footage from security cameras purported to show masked rioters vandalizing and setting cars ablaze. Further to the east, some 200 Israeli youth rioted in Tul Musaya, a village near Ramallah, setting ablaze some 30 houses and 60 vehicles.
Dozens of settlers came here, around 250 settlers. They tried to enter the courtyard. They set the cars on fire. They started shooting towards the house, using live bullets and stones, and they damaged the balconies. There were almost 14 family members at home, including women and children, but thank God there were no injuries. They tried to open the doors, but they were closed.
In Jerusalem, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu voiced outrage over the violent rampage by what security forces refer to as a marginal group of radical Israeli settlers, stressing that Israel is a nation of laws.
I give full backing to the Israel police and the security forces in their efforts to maintain law and order. We will not accept any provocations to the police or the security forces in these places or anywhere else. We are a nation of laws.
Meanwhile, in Washington, State Department Deputy Spokesman Vedant Patel relayed the Biden administration's condemnation of both the deadly Palestinian terror attack in Eli, which claimed the lives of 4 Israeli civilians and wounded another 4, as well as the violence perpetrated by Israeli settlers in the West Bank.
As we noted yesterday, we strongly condemn yesterday's terrorist attack against Israelis near Eli in the West Bank that killed 4 individuals. We express our deepest condolences to the families of those killed. There is no justification for terrorism. We are also deeply concerned by the rising levels of violence in the West Bank in recent months. There are troubling reports of extremist settler violence against Palestinian civilians, including the death of a Palestinian child and other injuries. We likewise condemn these violent acts and also extend our condolences to the families of those affected.
Patel further highlighted that Assistant Secretary of State for Near Eastern Affairs Barbara Leaf traveled to Israel and the Palestinian Authority's headquarters in Ramallah to discuss ways to de-escalate the situation, among other topics of mutual concern and interest.
We continue to robustly engage with our partners in Israel. As I said, Assistant Secretary Leaf is in the region engaging with the parties on efforts to restore calm, to offer some specifics on her travel. In Jerusalem, the Assistant Secretary will meet with senior Israeli political and military leadership to discuss areas of mutual interest, including expanding and deepening Israel's integration into the Middle East and constraining Iran's destabilizing behavior.
Among others, Assistant Secretary Leaf met with Israeli National Security Advisor Tzachi Hanegbi in Jerusalem today, during which discussion indeed focused on ways to prevent security escalation in the area in the wake of the recent terrorist incidents, including by advancing meetings of the so-called Forum of Five, which include Israel, the Palestinian Authority, Egypt, and Jordan under the umbrella of the United States. Separately, discussions also included the latest developments pertaining to the Iranian file. And while the United States remains publicly adamant that a nuclear arrangement remains off the table, the U.S. NSC Coordinator for Strategic Communications, retired Rear Admiral John Kirby, acknowledged yesterday that talks with Iran remain primarily focused on other issues.
We have and we will continue to talk to the Iranians about detained Americans in their country. And we're doing that. And we're going to continue to do that because the president has made it a commitment to get wrongfully detained Americans back home with their families where they belong. And so that discussion's ongoing. At the same time, we're certainly dealing with the full spate of destabilizing behaviors that we see out of Tehran, whether it's attacking maritime shipping, which again happened just the last couple of weeks, their continuing efforts to improve their ballistic missile program, their support to terrorist networks in the Levant and throughout the region, and just as critically, their continued and deepening defense relationship with Russia.
It is worth noting that while Iran is in fact doubling down on its military support for Russia, Israel has in recent weeks ratcheted up its humanitarian support for Ukraine. Among others, following the destruction of the Kakhovka Dam in Kherson, Israel's foreign ministry immediately orchestrated a significant cargo shipment of humanitarian goods to assist the affected population.
We transfer humanitarian aid to the area of Kherson to residents who were harmed as a result of the explosion at the dam. Thousands of people were left homeless, absent essential goods such as water and food. Therefore, we are rapidly delivering these goods to Kherson, including over 200,000 liters of water and 10 tons of food. These goods will arrive to the Kherson region in the next couple of days. From the start of the war, Israel assists Ukraine, and we will continue to work to assist it and stand by its side.
Separately, Ukraine's First Lady Mrs. Olena Zelenskiy concluded an official visit to Israel during which she highlighted that Kyiv cannot cope alone amid the ongoing war in Ukraine. Her visit focused primarily on Israeli expertise in treating children and other patients who have experienced terror-rooted trauma.
We're very pleased that you could come here and see for yourself. And I think the main thing is that Israel is very proud of its health system. And we are also proud and want to share the knowledge and the great health system facilities with people in need.
I hope that we'll create some new programs, common programs with our experts from Ukraine and the experts from Israel. I hope we can make more powerful our health care system, and especially in the case of psychological traumas as aftermath of the war, and mental health programs, and also rehabilitation. We also need the support for rehabilitation of our wounded.
Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. In light of TV7's broadcast schedule in connection with Midsummer Eve, TV7 Israel News will not broadcast our daily edition tomorrow. Nevertheless, Jerusalem studio will air per usual. As ever, I'd like to encourage you to pray for the peace of Jerusalem and salvation of Israel. I'm Jonathan Essen, wishing you a Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach, and God willing, we'll see you again on Monday at the same time.